Maya sprinted through the desolate station, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting long, grotesque shadows that danced along the grimy walls. A cold draft whipped through the tunnel, sending shivers down her spine. She clutched her bag tightly, her eyes frantically searching for the platform clock. 11:57 p.m. The last train was about to depart. She reached the platform, gasping for breath. It was eerily deserted. The silence was broken only by the distant hum of machinery and the intermittent drip of water somewhere in the darkness. A single flickering light illuminated the platform sign, southbound, last train. A wave of unease washed over her. Maya's phone vibrated in her pocket. An unknown number. "Don't get on the train," the message read. Her pulse quickened. She glanced around nervously, her mind racing. Was it a prank? A wrong number? The hairs on the back of her neck stood on end. She felt a chill run down her spine despite the warmth of her coat. The train screeched to a halt, its arrival a jarring interruption to the unsettling quiet. The doors slid open, revealing a nearly empty car. Hesitantly, Maya stepped inside. She chose a seat near the middle of the car, her eyes darting around nervously. In the seat opposite her sat a man. He wore a dark trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat that shadowed his face. He was staring at her, his gaze intense and unwavering. Maya averted her eyes, feeling a knot of unease tighten in her stomach. She tried to focus on the graffiti-covered walls, but the man's presence was inescapable. Her phone buzzed again. "Get off at the next stop," the message urged, the unknown sender's concern palpable. Maya's breath caught in her throat. This was no longer a coincidence. Someone knew she was on this train. Someone wanted her off. The man across from her shifted slightly, his gaze never leaving her. His movements were slow and deliberate, almost predatory. Maya felt a surge of adrenaline. She had to get off this train, now. The train rattled through the tunnels, the rhythmic clattering of the wheels amplifying Maya's growing fear. She tried to ignore the man opposite her, but his presence was suffocating. His eyes, like burning coals, seemed to bore into her. Another text. "This is your last chance," it warned. "Get off the train." Maya's heart pounded in her chest. She had a bad feeling, a gut instinct that screamed at her to flee. But where could she go? The train screeched to a halt at the next station. The doors slid open, but Maya hesitated. Stepping out into the unknown, into the desolate darkness of a deserted station, felt more terrifying than staying put. She glanced at the man opposite her. He was watching her every move, a smirk playing on his lips. The doors began to close. Maya made a split-second decision. She stayed seated. Panic welled up inside her as the train lurched back into motion, carrying her further away from safety and deeper into the heart of her nightmare. The train plunged into a particularly long and dark tunnel, plunging the car into an oppressive blackness. The air grew thick with tension. Maya's breaths came in short, shallow gasps. She felt a cold sweat break out on her skin. She glanced at her phone. No signal. She was trapped. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died, plunging the car into absolute darkness. Screams erupted from the few other passengers on board. Maya cowered in her seat, her heart pounding against her ribs. Then a sound cut through the darkness. Slow, deliberate footsteps. Approaching. A whisper close to her ear sent chills down her spine. "I told you not to get on this train." The voice was deep and raspy, sending shivers down her spine. It was him, the man in the hat. Another voice, high-pitched and terrified, pierced the darkness. "This is the end of the line." Then silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Maya scrambled to her feet, her blood turning to ice. She stumbled towards the faint light emanating from under the door of the next car. She had to escape. She had to get away from whatever horrors awaited her in the darkness.